Okay, let's stretch. Here we go. What I would suggest is you put on a playlist of music that you love, have it in the background, because if I put something on, it may not be your jam. So put on something, little elevating music. I like laid back beach music is the soundtrack I usually use for this class. So let's find a comfortable stance. So separate your feet, soften behind your knees. Bring your arms up like you're a goalpost or shape of a cactus. And just slowly start to turn side to side. So all we're doing here is just taking these first handful of minutes to warm the body. And there's that breath coming in. So let yourself not be in the hard and fast, but like you're starting to find out, if you haven't practiced with me, my favorite word is yummy. Next to yummy, it's juicy. And I just want folks to remember to open up their bodies to a little bit more delicious flow state. So turning those elbows side to side, and then maybe let the elbows come down. So again, you're soft behind the knees, you're soft in the ankles, you're soft in the hips. You're not going for any finish line. You're just finding a place that feels very soothing for you. Now bring the elbows up to shoulder height. Just let the palms stay facing down. And again, invite that breath to have a little bit more of your awareness. All right, let those arms come down. Pretend you're in a car wash. You're just letting them go side to side. One more on each side just to balance out. And come back into standing. Now this next thing we'll do, it's called a sweeping squat. Again, just a way to get all the joints warmed up. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see kind of the orientation. So I'm going to squat down. I'm going to take my hands, sweep them back behind me. And then as I bring the arms forward, I'm going to start to rise up on the balls of the feet, come up onto my tiptoes. I'm going to find a little bit more buoyancy here. Step your feet a little wider apart if you feel a little wobbly. And then I'm going to start to connect my breath. So I'm going to inhale as I rise up. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. More. And then we're going to really get a breath pumping, going with a Kriya. So that same motion, remove the tiptoe action. You're going to do this 10 times. First one's on me. So inhale. As you exhale, okay, 10 more. Here we go. 5 more. Last one. Big breath in. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Fantastic. All right. So let's take a little bit of warming into the hips in a different orientation. So I'm going to take my right leg. And I'm just going to start to create circles. It's a secret way to work on your balance too. So press down through that left foot. Let's do 2 more this direction. Then you're going to bring the leg back around. So circle it back in. And again, find your breath. Find base of foundation on that left foot. All right, set that right leg down. You're going to take your left leg. Okay, what are we going to do first? We're fanning it out and open. So let the knee be the driver. If you can hover the foot throughout this whole little sequence, groovy. If you can't, let it touch down. But see if you can really find length up out of that right leg. Okay, let's reverse it. Come back in. Go ahead and step that leg down. Shake it out. Now, let's find us a strap or a belt or whatever you have available. We'll work on some shoulder openers. So take your strap and lengthen it out. Give yourself maybe 4 or 6 inches above your head. Step your feet a little bit wider than your pelvis. Soften behind your knees. I want you to gently press outward on the strap and let it come about halfway. So we're here at this orientation. And then I want you to come back up. If we have a shoulder story, if we have a vulnerable situation, maybe we are prone to dislocation or there's just some ooh in there, we want to be super aware of staying engaged through the shoulder girdle. And that's why we do that gentle pressing out towards the side walls through our hands. So it keeps the strap nice and taut. Good. So we're just taking gentle range of motion from crown of head to just behind that back door of the heart where the scapula kind of reach in to kiss the spine. Okay, let's take one more. Pause. I want you to imagine that you're trying to squeeze a Nerf ball between your shoulder blades. Good. Now, could you take it the rest of the way down? And could you come all the way back up? And bring it over. Take a little break. Just hang over, let go of your strap. Circle the arms a couple times each direction. Reverse the direction if you haven't. Bend your knees a little bit deeper and roll on up. Grab that strap again. So now we're going to take that full range of motion. And we're going to start in front of the body. And then we're going to take the strap up and over and behind. Up, over, to the front. Gentle tension, pressing out to the sides. All right, once more. Come all the way back up and over. Let that strap down. And we'll be done with that. Okay. I'm going to turn my back to you so you can see what's going on here. We're going to take our arms out. I want you to put your right arm up, your left arm down. See if you could bend your right hand to touch somewhere across the upper back. And then just see if you could put the back of the left hand in the curve of the low spine. Beautiful. Then you're just simply going to see in a placement way, kind of like a marching upward, bringing fingertips together towards one another. So we're doing it without the strap this first time just to get a sense of our safety margin, let's say. A lot of times when we have an assist or a device, we can take ourselves a little too far too fast. So this gives us a barometer, if you will, kind of a rule of measure to see where it is we'd like to go. And then we're going to open back up, same as we entered, and then we're going to switch. So now take the left arm up, the right arm down, and just slowly start to work them towards one another. So energetically, we can think of the elbows as like arms on a clock, and we're slowly tick-tocking them into 6 o'clock. So hang out there for a couple of breaths. Again, just getting to know what you can match, what you can meet, what's available, and then let that go. Go ahead and grab your strap. Same thing, let's start with the right arm. Right arm goes up, left arm can go behind. If you don't need a strap, don't worry about using it. But sometimes it can really be a nice little tool. So you're just slowly walking your way up the belt, the strap, whatever you have, to come into that connection. And then I want you to lightly press the back of your head against your forearm. So you can get a little bit of a lengthening through the tricep here. Soften behind your knees. Try not to jut the ribs out too much, so stay engaged through your center. All right, so let's reverse it. We come back out the way we entered, and we switch hands with the strap. So left hand will go overhead, right arm down low. Take hold of the strap and start to walk towards one another. So we find the place where maybe the body pushes back, or we just run out of room. Body says, we're done. And then lean your head back into your forearm. Lower your shoulders away from your ears. Soften the rest of your body. You want to be integrated, but you don't want to be locked and rigid. Because this is all about finding space for breath, finding space for mobility, and finding space for flexibility. Good. Let's get out of here. Take the arm out and down. For real, we are finished with the strap. And come on back to your mat. I want you to take a nice wide stance. Pardon me. And just take that skater's lunge side to side. So legs are wide. Toes are turned however feels right for your knees. And just enjoy this side to side movement. Okay, so torso is just kind of checked out right now. But not for long. So come back into center. Stand with straight legs. And then I want you to take a fold halfway over. For some of us, it might we need to go ahead and bend the knees. Totally great. Because we're going to shift into that same skater's lunge once more. So we're not going for speed. We're going to check on range of motion, mobility, either balance or imbalance, side to side. Good. Then we're going to slow down even more and come into the center, bend both knees. Keep the knees bent, but bring your torso up. Let the hands slide down above the knees. Okay. Inhale through center. Take your right shoulder over to your left knee. Enjoy a breath here. Come back up through center. Take the left shoulder over to the right knee. Feel free to press through the heel of the hand. Find a little bit more opening through the inseam of the legs. Let's come back through center, connect it with breath. If you need to stretch your legs for a sec, go ahead. So how this will look is we'll inhale through center, and then we'll find that deepening, twisting rotation to one side. Inhale through center. Exhale, we'll go to the other side. Slide back down, hands above the knees. Inhale. As you exhale, take the right shoulder to the left. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, left shoulder, right knee. Inhale. Exhale, other side. Inhale. Exhale, other side. Once more. See how wide you could get the inner thighs. Folding through the out-breath. Centering through the in-breath. Folding through the out-breath. And coming back to center. Straighten your legs. Turn your toes in. Push your heels out. And take a fold over. Not much to do here in this moment, but just hang out. I like to do a little bit of a sway, soften behind my knees, and just let the weight of my upper body, especially my head, my skull, create some length through that low waist area. It tends to get congested. Kind of like my voice when I hang upside down. All right, come into center. Let your fingertips rest down. If the fingertips can't reach the floor, pull something over. Coffee table, stack of books, couch cushion, whatever is at your ready. And we're going to take some pulsations here. All that means is you're going to take a really wide, awkward squat. So you're going to drop your seat down. Then you're going to come up. So seat goes up, head goes down. Just the opposite happens. As you lower your seat, bring your head up. Let's do two more. Folding forward. Inhale, coming back up. Last one. Fold over. Inhale, come up. Good. This time let the seat go up, head hangs. Now, this is going to be tricky. You're going to want to watch me, but I want you to see if you can just listen. So, here's where you are. You're folded over your legs. You're going to take your right hand, walk over to your left foot. Right now, both legs are straight. What I want you to do is start to bend the right knee. So it's almost like whatever you've taken hold of, if it's the outside edge of your foot, your ankle, your calf, you're trying to peel it off the floor, but it won't go. So you're getting this nice kind of posterior shoulder stretch. Take one more breath here. And then come back into center. Let's walk over to the other side. So your left hand is reaching over to either the right foot or something on the right leg that you could anchor into. Just get that left arm out of the way. It can rest on your back or it can just hang out. And then bend your left knee. Just lean into that bent knee. Let the shoulder, the arm get nice and long. And then come back to center. All right, fingertips out beyond the toes. Come up halfway. Take a breath or two here so we don't get Tweety birds as we come all the way up. Now, as we come up the rest of the way, I want your legs to be strong. I want you to pull your kneecaps up just a wee bit. Stabilize the spine and come all the way up to standing. Good, you can hop your feet together. You can walk them together, whatever works for your body. And just come back up to standing. All right, so we're going to come into facing your mat or your area front to back. If you have tender knees, you might want to pull a blanket over so that you can find a space to pad them. If you're using a yoga mat and you have a tender knee, you can just roll. If I didn't have a blanket, you could just roll your mat in a wee bit to pad your knee. If you've had a knee replacement, another suggestion I have is instead of putting pressure on the knee, go ahead and let your shin kneel on the blanket and the knee just hangs in space so it doesn't have any contact. All right, let's step our right foot forward. Left knee is down. And we're going to take some pulsations. Guess what the pulsations are doing? It's pretty obvious. Lengthening our hip flexors. Pulse or two more. Another thing to take note of is this front foot. If we don't have it stepped out far enough, that knee is going to shear out over the toes. So we just want to come into alignment with that ankle. Good. Take one more. And then as you come forward and down into the deepening stretch, I want you to get a little bit heavy. Let that left thigh bone get heavy. Fantastic. Now, I want you to come back just a wee bit. Bring your arms up overhead. And let's take a little tilt to the left. And a little tilt to the right. And then we're coming back to center. You can bring fingertips down onto the floor, or again, you can use your props, your blocks, your books, your pillows, and then see if we could lean back onto, the left shin, but the right leg is straightened. That's in quotation marks. Let the right heel be heavy. Good. Now we're going to move in and out of that range of motion. So send the weight forward, not letting knee go beyond ankle, but it's more about lengthening this left thigh. So it's pressing down like there's a sandbag on the hamstrings. And then shifting back and shifting forward. We'll do two more here. One more time. Now this time shift back and hold. Take a bow. Kind of shines a new light on the back of the right leg. Fantastic. Roll the right foot down. I want you to curl your left toes under and come up to standing on both feet. You might find that you're a little too far away. If that's the case, just step that left foot forward a wee bit. And you're going to come down into a deep fold right here. Just trying to find just the gentle edge of resistance, not pushing into it, but just being aware that it's there. And then go into your breath. Let's take 2 more right here. Alrighty. Let yourself float up just enough. Shift your weight forward into your right foot. Step your left foot forward. And then send your right leg back. Let your right knee lower down. And then let's come into those pulsations again. So just shifting down, back. Nothing fancy here. Just warming, lengthening. Just taking the time to say hello to our body. All right, this next time, let's settle in. So find that alignment of knee over ankle. If you can't find it, that probably just means you need to reach that right leg back a wee bit. Find the heaviness. Just let yourself sink down. Beautiful. And then come up just a wee bit. So standing more on that right shin than you were just a few moments before. Arms come overhead. Take a lean to one side. Come back up. Take a lean to the other side. And come back up. Hands come down. Let's take that little rock back. So send the weight back. It lengthens the left leg. Left heel gets heavy on the mat. Send the weight forward. Lengthen the right thigh. Send the weight back. Lengthen the left leg. One more time. Going forward. And reaching back. Beautiful. Send the weight forward. Curl the toes under on the back foot and pop up to standing. So it's kind of like a staggered split. And then we fold down. And we see what's going on here. We hang out long enough to let the calf lengthen on the back leg. Fantastic. Maybe we rock back, lift that left toe. Or all 5 toes. And then lower the left foot down. Bend the right knee back to the blanket. And let's go ahead and come into a tabletop. So hands and knees. Hang out here just for a moment. So I want you to turn on your big fluffy tail and just kind of sway it side to side. Just consider this a little reprieve. Good. Now I want you to come into center, and this is kind of tricky for some folks if they haven't been in the physical presence of this movement. But I want you to turn your spine into a jump rope or like a barrel. And you're going to lower your spine straight down, kind of like in cat-cow. Then you're going to go out to one side. Then you're going to pull your spine up as you draw front body into back body. Go out to the other side and swoop through again. So the visual I use is kind of like turning the spine into a jump rope. Some people see it as kind of rolling around inside of a barrel. So take 2 more in this direction. So shins and hands are very much a part of this as they are pressing away from the floor, but yet the elbows and shoulders soften each time we come down and around. Go ahead and switch directions. Oh, when we switch directions, the brain kind of goes, what? So just notice that happens. And continue to find a range of motion that we don't necessarily explore on a daily basis. Good. Come back to center. Now, look back through your knees. Put your big toes together. Walk your knees out wide. 2 options here. If you haven't had any joint replacement in the knees, I want you to see if you can start to reach your seat back towards your heels. Okay. walk your hands out far, far, far in front of you and let your forehead go down. Now, if you've had joint replacement, I want you to keep your hips stacked over your knees and just walk your hands out and take the head down. So choose one of those two, and let's hang out there for another, say, 3 breaths. See if you can find kind of the ease of the breath in and out. There we go. All right, go ahead and slowly come on up and find a way to sit on your bottom. Take your blanket out to the side. So let's extend the legs out. And if we can, take the right hand, put it outside the left leg. If you can take the foot, great. If you can't, this is great too. We're just going to take a nice twist. So taking that left arm back behind you. See how tall you could sit up without caving the belly. Let the belly stay lean and long. Beautiful. Come back. Let's go the other side. So either take the foot, the ankle, the calf, maybe behind the knee. Maybe you tuck your hand underneath your thigh and find all that length as we take the twist. And then back we go. Take the arms up overhead. Let's just take a gentle forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to. And just drape yourself out over the legs. Drape is a very loose term. For some of us, this might be our forward fold. But if we're right at that edge of awareness, where there's a little bit of resistance, one of my teachers called it an echo point, where it's just bouncing right back and saying, hello, hello. So don't go any further. But that's where the transition, that's where the change can happen if we go into it with awareness in our breath. Take one more here. Beautiful. Now, as we come back up, I want you to subtly scoop towards the tops of the feet. Arms come overhead. And arms come down. All right. Let's move into a little bit of some hip love. So we're going to take the right foot and the right shin, and we're going to have it in line with the front edge of the mat. So that means the right side of my body is over towards the right edge of the mat. I'm actually going to face you to give you a sense of what's going on here. So if this were the right edge of my mat, here's my right thigh, and then my shin is going to come out off of the knee. On the left side, my knee is coming right out of my thigh. Okay? And then I'll turn this direction as well. Sometimes if you're new to watching videos, it's hard to figure out where you want to be. So I'm going to make a couple different options available for you. Now, I'm going to take my fingertips on either side of my foot and knee, and I'm going to lean forward. But I'm not just flopping forward, right? I'm not caving the head in towards my chest. I'm taking length as though someone has a tether on my nose, and I'm being pulled out over my shin bones. So I may only get this far. And that's fantastic because that's right where I need to be. That's right where that transition zone is. Some of us may have a different body story. We can walk the arms around and we can continue to deepen. We're going to be here for about 10 breaths. So you just take your time and you find kind of the place for you that allows you to hang out around that echo point, okay? You keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to raise back up. So the thing about the hips is there's these multitude of big, big muscles that wrap around the hip for stabilization, for strength, for locomotion. And they love to hang on. When we are stretching, if we can offer the invitation of the out breath, the exhalation, kind of to serve as the ah Then, breath by breath, the musculature will actually begin to trust and will start to soften and open. So take 2 more breaths here. Even maybe just explore the thought of having a little mirror under your mouth. Could you exhale just enough to fog it? Plus, good hearty exhalations are good for the soul. Now, in breath, let's come back up. Final little yumminess here is I'm going to walk around to the right side of the body, and I'm going to feel the inner left knee kind of press down into the floor. Take a breath or 2 there. Fantastic. Okay, come back up. Start to turn towards the side edge of the mat. Look what happens. You can just continue to turn. And then, presto, the left leg is in front, the right leg is behind. Okay, so here's this orientation. I'm going to face you. They call this the 90-90 in quotation marks. So here's the position here. And then if I were to turn this way, here's the position here. All right. Feel free to pad this little knee as much as you like, because you want to enjoy stretching. You don't want it to be a torture session. Let's take those fingertips out wide and just gently start to fold over. Okay, so that first fold, you're going to come up against kind of the, whoa, didn't know that was there. And so we just ease up to it. We use our breath. We try to keep the spine lengthening out and over again, like we're being drawn over the shin bones. And for the next handful of breaths, if it feels right for you, you can bring arms around and continue to lengthen out, or you can even just explore deepening the bend of the elbows. So it's a good reminder that it's not about how these stretches look, because each body has a different story. There could be 5 of you in your living room right now, and all 5 of you are going to look completely different. But the chances that you're all having the same sensation is pretty good. You know, that sense of, ooh, something could open up there. Pretty great. So let's take 2 more breaths here. Again, let them be deep and regular, even and full. Always encouraging the sigh. And then let's walk back up. Fantastic. We're going to do that little twist. So I'm going to walk over to the left, and I'm going to find the inner right knee, kind of pressing down into the floor. All right, come back to center. Swing that right leg around front. Now, is it possible, could you stack your right knee on top of your left? Okay. Again, turning toward you would be this type of orientation. If you cannot, then just lay the right leg in front of the left, just kind of like crisscross applesauce. And then we're going to take a nice bow out and over. Folding out and over. Same thing, we don't want to cave, try to put our head on our shin. We want to try to reach our nose, our chin, our chest out over the shin. If you need the support of your fingers, hands, arms, let them be there. Find 3 more breaths just in this place. Let's rise back up. Simply switch your legs. Stacking right on top of left. If right on top of left doesn't happen, not available, then take left in front of right. Alrighty, let's take that fold out and over. For me, this kind of is a wrapping, lengthening energy through the left side. For some of you, it might be more in the back, might be in the hamstring. So So whatever it is, hooray, that means we have some landscape to explore. So let's take 3 more breaths, just where you are. There it is, and come up. All right, extend those legs out, give them a shake. Beautiful. Bend your knees, feet are on the floor. Take your hands back behind you. Now, before we press up into this, I'm going to show you once, and then I'm going to talk you through some modifications. So the intention is to find chest opening, so this chest wall opening, and also the upper arm muscles. So I'm going to come up into reverse table. Usually, one of 2 things happens. The hips just can't get lift because of range of motion, or the shoulders are too tight, or they are just tight, and it limits the ability to lengthen the spine completely. Third thing that can happen is the wrists are not happy. So I'm going to come back down. So hands can be like this, they can be like this, turn out, all the way around. The other option is you could come onto forearms and be lower onto the ground. So put those hands behind you, check out a couple of different positions, see what works for your body today. Let your feet be about 2 fists apart, so look down at the space between your arches. And we're going to get ready to come up. If you're taking forearms, you're going to be down here and legs are going to be extended. All right, let's take a full breath in. Exhale down through the hands, down through the feet. And on the in-breath, press into all 4 points and rise up. First time you come up, there's going to be a lot of, whoa, okay, yeah, didn't know that was that way. So soften just a wee bit. Still stay strong. Standing in the palms, standing in the feet. Just your gaze is straight up. If that's too much, you can look down your nose towards your knees. And then lower back down. Hug your shins. Do a little lengthening. Good. Let's try that one more time. Or if you decided, nah, not for me, then you can just sit here and hug yourself for another couple of breaths. So press into the feet, press into the palms, lift the hips up as though there is a raft being inflated underneath you. Find ease in the front body, lengthening from shoulders to knees. And then lower back down. So good. Hug those shins once more. Fantastic. All right, let's do a little bit of wide angle work. So step the legs apart. Again, it doesn't matter how wide out they are. What we don't want is that they're so wide out that we can't get our upper body lengthened. So sometimes this needs to happen, legs come in. Sometimes they can be out, but the knees need to be a little soft so you can roll the pelvis slightly forward. All that being said, just tiptoe out on your fingertips. Find that sense of settling in through the pelvis. Good. Walk back up. Turn towards the left leg and take a little bow. Come back up. Walk over to the right leg. Take a little bow. Walk back up. Come back to center. Can you pull the left heel in towards the pubic bone? Good. Then could you turn towards that left knee? Just a gentle twist. Okay. Could you lean away and take that right hand, let it slide down inside the right leg, but keep that left shoulder rolling back. So we're not going for so much depth into the fold, we're finding rotation. And then maybe taking that arm up, maybe bringing it behind the ear. So again, we're just exploring, places that we don't normally get to visit often during the day. We take the time to say hello while we're here. Good, let's come back up. Just exchange your legs. Let that left leg go out wide. Let the right heel come in. Beautiful. Turn towards that right knee. Lean away from the right knee. Take that left arm, slide it down the inside of the left leg only till you find the place where you're just getting ready to find rounding, like you're going to roll that right shoulder over. Instead, I want you to roll the right shoulder back. And maybe that right arm goes up. Maybe it goes to the ear. Maybe it just explores some different real estate. And then we can come back up. Good. Bring that left leg in. Soles of the feet are together. Let the feet come far enough away from the pelvis that you, again, don't find yourself in this kind of rounded cave like you're a roly-poly bug and you're not going to be able to get back up. I want you to take the feet far enough away that you can feel the pubic bone just subtly rolling forward. This might be ample and plenty. Otherwise, if you're curious, just take a bow. Different things will show up for different people in all of these stretches. This one might be more hip dominant. It might be inner thigh dominant. It could be low back. Find another breath and then just allow yourself to come up. Okay. Draw your knees together. Spin around to the front of the mat. Now we're going to go on our back. So trust that you can just listen and you don't have to see what I'm doing, although you could just casually roll over and look. So as we roll down, keep the knees bent, feet will be on the floor. Back of the head resting comfortably. Hands can be wherever you like. I like mine either on my torso or a lot of times I'll take that form of a goalpost or a cactus. All we're going to do here is just simply take range of motion. So I want you to take the turn of the head to the left. And then take the turn of the head all the way up and over to the right. And then back into center. I want you to reach behind your ears, lightly touch your skull, and bring your chin to your chest. Take your shoulders away from your ears like you're trying to glue your elbows together. And then let that roll back down. Take the arms out wide if they weren't already, either goalpost or completely extended from the shoulders. And I want you to walk your feet wider. If you're on a mat, take them to the outer edges of your mat. If you're not on a mat, take your feet beyond the width of your pelvic bones. Now, from here, we're just going to let the knees go over to one side. So the knees stay apart, right? We have a lot of space between the leg bones. So we're going to take a full breath in here through center. As you exhale, I want both knees just to drift over to the left. And I want you to give a little bit more awareness of the inner right knee. Just act like there's a magnet trying to pull it to the floor. And then come back up. And let's go to the other side. Sorry, my microphone's in the way. So let the knees go over to the right. There we go. And that inner left knee is going to find a way of reaching towards the floor. So these are called wide-legged windshield wipers. So we're going to come up through center. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, take both knees over to the left. Beautiful. Now, if this is enough, stay here. If you want more, pick your left ankle up and rest it just above the right knee. Find a breath or two here. There's almost this energy of like lengthening from the top of the thigh bone down to the knee. Good. Take that left foot off. Bring the knees up and over. Let them go the other side. So left inner knee reaches for the floor. Pick your right foot up and drop the right ankle on top of the space just above the left knee. So you're just adding weight to that thigh bone. And then the next breath you take in. Let that right foot come off. Knees come back up to center. And wouldn't it feel great just to hug your shins right now? So take hold of the shins, draw your knees in towards your chest, but let the knees have a lot of space between them. What you'll feel is the low back kind of rounding into the floor. Should feel nice, kind of restorative. Beautiful. Second option, if you want to stay here, stay here. Otherwise, unhinge the knees. Let the soles of the feet kind of point towards the ceiling. And if you can, reach out and take the pinky toe side of each foot. Pull the knees down. In yoga, we call this a happy baby pose. In stretching, we just call it delicious. And just hang out here. Let that low back have the kind of the sense of spreading across the mat. Kind of like you're laying on a stick of butter. Beautiful. Let's take one more big breath in, big breath out. Draw the knees back together. Hug the shins, and you're going to take a rock and roll. So you're going to roll the body front to back. Let's do that 4 more times, just to invigorate circuitry of the spine. Plus, it's fun. And on this last one, we'll stay upright. So good. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths. So just let your arms do whatever feels right for you. Inhale, grow big. Exhale, bring it back down. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Thank you so much for joining me for stretch. The sun finally came out. It's fantastic. Take good care of yourself. Let me know what you need, and I'll plug in some more videos later in the week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.